after a lot of research and some personal experience, I'm now going to share with you a lot of tips and some map recommendations for ranking up on this game. So, first thing you need to know that's probably the most important. Ranking up is not based on anything except for downs, deaths, and rounds. Your round survived. It is not based on kills, headshots, whatever. It's only based on those two things. Now, the believed ratio that you need to have to rank up is 20 to 1. Well, to rank up from Skull, because I'm pretty sure at Skull, I think there's been like a very few rare cases of people actually being deranked from Skull to Bone, which I don't really know if it is from hackers, but I do know that to rank up from Skull up, you need to have a ratio of 20 to 1, which basically means 20 rounds to 1 down. So 21, 42, 63, and 84. So if you want to use all your quick revives in this hole, you're going to have to get to 80 if you want to have a chance of ranking up. So yes, this is very difficult, which is why I'm actually going to give you some map recommendations. Or well, I'm going to tell you which maps to avoid and which ones to play more. So I'm going to start here with Transit. First of all, I'll recommend playing Die Rise or Buried first, because I'm pretty sure on Plutonium your bank is like global across all the 3 maps with a built-in bank, which are the Zelensky maps, which are Transit, Die Rise, and Buried. So without a bank, it's still playable, but I'd say the bank really helps you out and it makes it a lot easier. The setup on this map takes a lot of patience because you need to unless you're an absolute god, you're definitely gonna be needing to save a zombie. So you're gonna have to walk it all through the fog, also it'll despawn. So it is very, very annoying to set up on this map. But honestly, after you set up, I'd say it's honestly pretty easy. I mean, you just get like Mustang and Sally's, ray gun. You just train out by that area next to the farm gate, and just keep the farm gate closed, and you just train there until you die. And really the only thing that's in your way is the Avogadro and the TED, the bus. So if you get like EMPs, you can one hit the Avogadro, and the bus will just take up a lot of the space. So yeah. Now the jet gun. The jet gun, I would honestly not recommend getting the jet gun unless you know how to use it, because if you don't know how to use it, it's gonna break and it's gonna overheat, and also the jet gun sucks you in, so you could get red screened or just die a lot. And learning how to use it is also very difficult, and you're probably gonna die a lot just learning how to use it. So unless you really know how to use the jet gun, I will definitely not recommend you use it. And next up, we have Bus Depot. Without a doubt, the hardest map in this game, which is why you should just avoid it altogether. Okay, there are some servers on here that have it with no lava damage, which honestly makes it a lot easier because you can train that big ass lava pool. But I would still just avoid it altogether because it's very difficult and there's no quick revive. Okay, this is the big thing right here. I do not know how grief or turned affects your rank at all. I don't know if losing it drastically affects it, if winning it drastically affects it. I do know there have been people who have been deranked from playing turned. So I honestly would just avoid grief and turned. Town, diner, burrow, and cell block, just avoid those altogether. Okay, so now on to Town. Town is definitely the most known and played survival map probably in Zombies history. Again, it's pretty much like Transit, except it's super easy to set up on this map. You just get ray gun and EMPs, and there you go, you're good. You can get Mustang and Sally's too if you want the rounds to go by a little faster, but you just do that, train by staying up, don't open up a speed cola, and there you go. I would definitely recommend playing Town because it definitely makes you better at zombies the more you play Town. Alright, Diner. Once again, I do not know how turn affects your rank. I would just recommend avoiding turned altogether because I have heard people who have been deranked from it. Alright, The Farm. Once again, avoid grief. I do not know how grief affects your ranks. Just avoid it altogether. Farm, the most boring map in this fucking game. It's pretty much just Town, but once again, it's easier to set up on. But I will say, it's honestly harder to train on. I would definitely recommend getting like a Chi-Com or a ballistic knife and training with that, and then killing with the ray gun. But other than that, it's literally just the exact same as the other survival maps. There's just no Pack-a-Punch. Alright, Mob of the Dead. Okay, biggest problem with Mob of the Dead. It is slow, okay? Rounds go by so slow when you're high up. It takes like you half a day to get to round 100 on this map. It is super slow, and honestly on solo it's extremely difficult to set up on. Unless you're playing co-op with really good people, I would honestly sadly just avoid Mob of the Dead if you're gonna want to rank up faster. Mob of the Dead is super slow, it's very hard to set up on solo, so yeah, unless you're playing co-op with good people, I would just avoid Mob of the Dead. And once again, Cell Block, I do not know how grief affects your rank, so just avoid that too. Alright, Nuketown. Nuketown. Another map I would sadly not recommend because random perk spawnings make it so that unless you're Jesus, you're gonna have to restart a whole lot if you want to get Pack-a-Punch and Jug first hit, or if you want to have a good game, because you're gonna be going down a lot. That's really what Nuketown is known for. Just playing co-op, you're gonna go down a lot, and so will your teammates. So just be careful. If you're going to play this map, I would not recommend it because you're gonna have to restart a lot, and that will definitely affect your rank. Alright, Origins. Origins is definitely a better choice than Mob of the Dead. The setup is still very difficult, and the Panzer is pretty annoying. But the things you need are Ice Staff upgraded, Wind Staff upgraded, G-Strikes, Zombie Shield, and Boomhilda or Ray Gun. There you go. Boomhilda, Ray Gun so you can kill Panzer, and also upgrade your staffs. Upgrade a Wind Staff because unless you run out of ammo on your Ice Staff obviously is your main weapon of choice for when you're camping. And I would also recommend Claymores for when you get into like the high rounds and have to start training with the Ice Staff. And the G-Strikes, I'm pretty sure G-Strikes is if like you get max ammo or if you get like caught in a corner or downed. So the strat is really to go into that big ass mud line, like the tank route with the Ice Staff that's behind Gen 2. And just camp next to that big puddle that's to your right. And there you go. The rounds honestly fly by on this map. So if you know what you're doing when you're setting up, I would definitely recommend Origins. It's really fast, it's fun, and it's just a pretty hard setup. Whew, quite possibly the best choice for ranking up. Buried is known for being the easiest map like ever. It's literally the easiest map ever. Really, there's like 8 strats you could do. There's one which I would definitely not recommend, which is where you go into the Paralyzer and go on top of the bank. It's very dangerous because the Paralyzer is honestly not that great of a weapon. But if you get Vulture's Aid, it's definitely more bearable because of the green mist. But yeah, I would recommend doing the you can just do the camping strat with the AN-94 and Ray Gun Mark II and get up to like 30, like mid 30s that way. But if you want to go up until like the high rounds, you have to get a build the self-service resonator to that room that's to the left of Jug. If you like fly with the Paralyzer and go to the room to the left, there's a workbench there. Build the self-service resonator there, and then build the turbine in that room underneath underneath Speakhole, which I'm pretty sure is like the core or something. Build the turbine there, and then what you do is that at the start of the round you just get a new turbine, a self-service resonator, and you just put down the resonators and then keep replacing them when they break. You just do that 4 times, then you break your turbine and just start it up all over again. Or if you're very disloyal and you're a dick, you can use the Tramplestein glitches with the Paralyzer and get up to whatever round you want. And that's pretty much it with Buried. Buried is definitely the easiest map, and definitely probably the best choice to go for. I would just not recommend playing Burrow because obviously Grief and Turn, no one knows how they really affect your rank. Well, at least I don't know how they affect your rank, so I can't really comment on them. I would just not recommend them. Die Rise. Again, just like Mob of the Dead, the rounds go by so slow. It took me like 3.5 hours to get to round 50 on this map. Unless you're doing the elevator strat, which is a strat where you it's the strat where you go in that little like drop down, which has like Galv Knuckles in the middle, and then like the A-94 on the bottom. and you just camp there. And honestly, rounds do go by really slow, but it's pretty dangerous, and I would just not recommend it because you're probably gonna go down a lot unless you really know what you're doing. But other than that, there is some training spots you can do. Like the Buddha room is probably the easiest training spot in zombies ever. It's just the Buddha room and the room that's next to the box. They're so easy that the rounds go by so slow, and you also just get so bored. Okay, just like Smith Place said. So I mean, yeah, it's very easy, and if you have a lot of patience and endurance, I would definitely say go for it. But if you don't, just stick to Buried. It's a lot faster and it's a lot easier. So yeah, one final thing is that make sure you're playing different maps. Do not just go into Town or Buried or Die Rise and get to round 50 like 45,000 times. Because if you play different maps, you're going to rank up a lot quicker. You have to play different maps, okay? Just remember that. And I hope you get to your desired rank, which is if it's either Skull Knife or Shotgun.